Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is about a few of my top favorite scents for formal wear. In other words, scents for suits. These scents, in my opinion, are more classy than trendy, and they're known for their quality and craft and are bound to leave a mark. So without any further ado, let's talk about scents for suits, their power and the kind of spark they emit and the kind of passion they ignite. So I would like to start with Naxos by Xerjoff. For me, Naxos is one of Xerjoff's sexiest fragrances, one of my most favorite fragrances from Xerjoff, and one of my most favorite fragrances overall. It's the chef's kiss for me. It's a totally unisex fragrance. I love to wear it myself, but on a man, it's ultra super duper intoxicating. It's a flawless fragrance. The honey in the heart is absolutely beautiful and present in perfect quantity, and more importantly, in perfect consistency. I don't find it very gooey, but it's dense enough to give it that depth that was needed to make the fragrance what it is, and yet be beautifully airy. The tobacco leaf in the base is the most beautiful, the most pleasantly intoxicating, crowd-pleasing kind of tobacco. There's cinnamon, adding some spicy warmth. There's also a bit of floral touch with jasmine, sambac, and cashmere and adding this warm, woody, musky quality. All these notes blend in beautifully to create this magical scent that's called Naxos. Honey tobacco together is like a match made in heaven. And honey, tobacco, and vanilla here is just so intoxicating. It transports you to some exotic place. It's a glorious scent, totally worthy of being the scent of a Greek god. And hence the image it creates in my head is of Chris Hemsworth smugly donning all black suit and Naxos. It's a perfect formal wear scent, exceptional on a man wearing a suit. If you want to make an impression in a social situation or make an impact in a business setting and be very desirable to the opposite sex at the same time, this is your answer. Perfect amount of earthiness, woodiness, and sweetness, and the most pleasant tobacco. It's smooth, it's intense, it's complex, and it has great performance, long-lasting and strong projection, and the trail it leaves behind is wonderful. It's Naxos by Xerjoff. So up next I have Carlisle by Parfums de Marly. This is one of my top favorite Parfum de Marlys. This to me is a stunning fragrance that smells of money. It opens with a blast of green apple and nutmeg. Nutmeg usually adds warmth to an olfactive composition because it's warm in nature. It's spicy, slightly woody, and sweet with a touch of bitterness. It can even have subtle hints of musk and tobacco. And this one here, this is a warm, a bit spicy fragrance. It has some saffron, but apple and nutmeg are the more dominant players than saffron. There's also a prominent presence of tonka bean, and there's rose and osmanthus, adding this velvety soft, this honeyed, apricot-y, peachy kind of subtle, fuzzy, suede kind of feel. It feels a little incensey. The tonka bean is pretty dominant in the heart, but as it dries down, the vanilla kind of takes over together with the patchouli. The dry down is such delicious, sticky, resinous vanilla goodness. There's a very subtle, very pleasant, and very sexy tobacco which could be coming from nutmeg. It's dark, it's sensual, it's mysterious. It's a very rich, very deep, very intense, slightly fruity, but a very potent fragrance. A very high quality, elegant, chic, and classy kind of fragrance. A composition like this deserves to be treated with respect. You cannot just wear it to run some errands looking disheveled. It commands respect, and you ought to give it its due. So the best time and the best way to enjoy it while doing justice to this sophisticated composition is to wear it for a special occasion, an important business meeting, or a formal dinner date when you are dressed up to impress. You wear it and you are effortlessly creating that chic, that sexy, that seductive aura around you. For me, it's one of the best releases from Parfums de Marly. The performance here is absolutely amazing. This stuff lasts a long time and projects like a beast. It's nothing less than exceptional. This is beautiful. This is Carlisle by Parfums de Marly. Next, I have Ganymede by Marc-Antoine Barrois again. This one is in so many of my lists. Top sexy, top formal wear, top date night, top all-time favorites, top compositions, top bests, top tops, etc. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that this is a phenomenal fragrance and is a real and proper sexy fragrance that is absolutely befitting for this topic of scents for suits. It's a unique and complex fragrance that's ever so slightly citrusy, slightly fruity, and ever so slightly floral, musky, aquatic, and leather fragrance with an interesting twist of mineral and ozonic accords. I've said this before that this is not citrusy in traditional sense. It's a softer and curbed kind of citrusy and a subtly sweet kind of citrusy. The leather is also subtle and refined and very airy. This saffron and osmanthus adding the depth and the mysterious and the super, super sexy element. Aquatic or ozonic here doesn't imply that it's a marine or beachy kind of fragrance. It's just that it has that seaside air or some sort of ozonic kind of undertone to it. It's an ultra intoxicating, intense, and yet beautifully soft and very airy, a little spicy, earthy, woody, and leathery kind of fragrance. In terms of performance, it's exceptional, lasts all day, projects beautifully, and creates this super sensual scent cloud around you, a cloud that's very appealing to women and leaves the most sexiest and the most intoxicating trail. Again, the sillage here is a lot bigger than the actual projection. It's rich, it's refined, it's sophisticated. It's a very versatile scent, but goes exceptionally well with the formal attire. It's a perfect formal or special occasion kind of scent. Very stylish and very effortlessly upscale kind of scent that gives the old money vibes. It's absolutely incredible. This is Ganymede by Marc-Antoine Barrois. Up next, I have another designer. It's Tuxedo by YSL from the Le Vestiaire collection. How can this not be on the list? It's in the name. It's Tuxedo. There are so many absolutely gorgeous fragrances in this world, and there are a few in my collection. There are some I like, some I love, but every time I smell this, I feel this is the most beautiful scent ever created. It's spicy, both warm spicy and fresh spicy, a little citrusy, somewhat floral, a little vanillic, balsamic, ambery, with the most beautiful patchouli. It's woody, it's aquatic. The overall feel is quite crisp and clean. So there's violet leaf accord, bergamot oil, coriander seeds oil, rose oil, lily of the valley accord, black pepper oil, ambergris accord, patchouli, vanilla, bourbon. You do get these notes. You do get the citrus, the black pepper, the patchouli, a very outlying rose, and a very distant but a very pleasant leather. However, what I do get in totality isn't a citrusy or a floral or a vanillic or a spicy scent. It's a blend of all these notes and accords, but it's also so different from anything else. There's sophistication and elegance overflowing in every spray and every sniff. I don't know why it feels nostalgic, but not in a typical way. It doesn't remind me of anything in particular. There is just something about this that tugs at my heartstrings. It takes me to a memory that's non-existent and to a place where I've not been before. It feels like an echo from another time, another place, and even though it's a memory I cannot relate with, I still am in love with that memory. This is what this scent does to me, and this is what this scent is to me. Both Ganymede and Tuxedo are quite ethereal to me. The difference is that Ganymede takes me to places I've been to and have an irrational longing for, and this one takes me to places which in my head I've been to, but perhaps not in this lifetime, maybe in some other dimension, or somewhere where I do exist, but perhaps not in this form, perhaps me, but not myself. This stuff is crazy, or I'm the one that's crazy. Anyway, this is a linear scent which does not change much, but stays beautiful throughout the wear. As far as the performance is concerned, the longevity here is excellent. Stays on all day with a soft projection. It's not a screamer, but people will be able to smell you. It's perfect for special occasions, dates, and intimate moments. Totally androgynous, but I find it sexier and exceptionally appealing on a man. Wear this if you want to feel bold, powerful, and elegant. It's a total knockout. This is Tuxedo by YSL. Next, I have Grand Soir by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This one is the quintessential scent for formal wear, even though it is very, very versatile. Another one of my forevers. It's my forever love. And this too is a fragrance that's totally unisex, and I love to wear it myself. But it's absolutely grand and super alluring on men. So there's cinnamon leaf, amber, vanilla accord, benzoin, tonka bean, labdanum, and lavender. Francois is the best and one of the most refined amber scents ever created. It's the most sophisticated and the most elegant vanillic ambers. The image that comes to my mind when I smell this is actually exactly as the website suggests. When you wear this, when you feel its warmth, its ambery goodness, you feel it's like an evening of long walks in the streets of Paris, losing yourself in the beauty and the brilliance of a city that brings you passion, peace, and that feeling of longing all at the same time. It's the scent of Daniel Craig as James Bond in my head. It's one of the best creations of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, in my opinion, and one of the best amber fragrances ever created. It's a comforting and inviting scent that gives you the old money vibes, makes you feel like you made it. The performance here is unbelievable with incredible longevity. It lasts 8 plus hours on the skin and forever on the clothes. The projection here is beast mode, not in a loud way, but in a very sophisticated and elegant way. This is Grand Soir by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Next up, I have Coromandel by Chanel. Coromandel is an ultra-refined, splendid, sumptuous, and captivating fragrance by Chanel. It's an intensely ambery scent with notes of patchouli, frankincense, and benzoin. It's one of my most favorite patchouli fragrances, and there's tons of patchouli here. There's white chocolate here. It's also citrusy, it's floral, and it's so beautifully powdery. The powderiness here is so rich and high quality. It's more like creamy powderiness in such a compulsive way that you cannot stop sniffing it. It's spicy, it's balsamic, ever so slightly smoky, incensey, slightly sweet, and beautifully earthy and woody and musky kind of fragrance. It's a CEO kind of fragrance, and this one also smells like money. It goes perfectly with the business suit. It's a smooth blend. Longevity and projection are excellent, but it does not shout. This is another one of those fragrances that stays in your memory. It's got that classic memorable DNA and a DNA worth labeling as classic. This is Coromandel by Chanel. Next I have Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition by Armaf. I'm sorry guys, I have to include this fragrance as in my opinion, this is absolutely brilliant. It was a regular EDP version last time, only this time it's the limited edition. And the quality and the feel it offers for the price it comes at it's a no-brainer and a total win-win. This one is a fail-safe choice to be worn in any situation and any weather. It's a fresh and yet beautifully deep and beautifully masculine scent that performs better than expectations and garners compliments on regular basis. All men in my household wear these, which includes my husband and my two handful teenage boys. It's usually their first choice over all the niche and expensive fragrances, and they all get compliments on daily basis, not just from someone new, but even from the same people over and over again. And my oldest son, who goes to college, even got a compliment from his tutor, who said that he always knows when my son is around because of his scent. He even asked for the name of the fragrance. That's how much it projects, and that's the kind of sillage, the scent cloud it creates. Plus, it lasts all day on skin and longer on the clothes. Beast mode, but not in obnoxious way. So perfect for formal wear. It's a high quality fragrance at an affordable price, so it's always on repeat buy list for me. It's got juicy pineapple, citruses, black pepper, pink pepper, beautiful subtle florals, white musk, ambergris, ambroxan, cedar, and patchouli. It's very faintly leathery, but you cannot smell it separately. It's beautifully blended in a way that your nose cannot detect any harsh or any strong leather here. So if you don't like leather, just don't even pay attention to this bit I just said. The leather to the nose is almost imperceptible, but it's just bringing this sexy edge to this bold monster. And this limited edition version is also a tad bit smoother and more refined than the other already awesome EDP and the Parfum versions. There's this slight smoky accord to this, which is quite similar to the earlier batches of Aventus, which now makes it a bit more Aventus than the Aventus itself. Having said that, I've heard some people saying that this one here is going through some batch variations as well, and the performance is varying, but all in all, this is an absolute win for me. I love this stuff, and I should now move on. So last but not the least, I have Noir by Tom Ford. Noir, I've mentioned before, is an absolute classic and one of my most favorite Tom Fords. It's a sexy, dark and mysterious amber fragrance with dark gothic rose and a very addictive chocolatey and earthy patchouli in its core. There's truffle and saffron and vanilla and a little bit of oud somewhere in the background as well, but it's mostly about the rose and the patchouli. It's a refined blend that's a little floral, a little spicy, balsamic, earthy, mossy. It's woody in a very Moorish way. It's a luxuriously warm and sensual and a totally unisex fragrance, which is great for formal black tie events, evening wear, and date nights. Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Woman, even though it's targeted towards Armaf's women's range, but it's very close to this one and it's totally unisex scent, and it's very affordable as well, just putting it out there. Longevity is excellent with moderate projection. This is Tom Ford's Noir. So that was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.